Healthcare workers convicted of sexually assaulting their patients can no longer get their medical licenses back.
Yeah, the 7 investigators first exposed that convicted sex offender doctors, dentists, and others have still been allowed to work with patients.
But a new law has just been signed to stop that from happening. 7 investigator Heather Catallo is here now to explain these changes. Heather?
That's right. This new law just is going to go into effect this summer. It's a new law that's been in the works for a long time. It's not perfect, but it will permanently revoke the license of any healthcare worker who is convicted of sexually assaulting their patient.
We'd like to talk to you about why you got your license back after a sex crime conviction. Can we talk to you for a minute?
Dr. Donald Quinn was one of 44 convicted sex offenders that 7 Action News discovered who had either gotten their healthcare licenses reinstated or who could get their licenses back. Court records show that Dr. Quinn drugged and then sexually assaulted and beat a patient in 2001. He was charged with 10 felonies, but was convicted of 2 counts of second-degree criminal sexual conduct, 2 drug charges, and a weapons charge as part of a plea deal. Quinn was locked up for a year in jail and his dental license was suspended. But state licensing records obtained by 7 Action News show his license was fully restored in 2012, something he did not want to discuss with us.
I really have nothing to say.
Now a new law will permanently revoke the licenses of health professionals who are convicted of sex crimes with their patients. Senator Rick Jones pushed for the new legislation, but the law won't apply to health workers convicted in the past.
I can't create a law that goes ex post facto and goes back in history and says, you did this 5 years ago, so now we're going to give you this penalty. But those records are there. And if there is any new infraction, the boards will be able to review past behavior.
When you violate your patient's trust, I think that's when you forfeit your right to use whatever medical talents you have.
Joanne Naylor testified against her former eye doctor, Matthew Berman. A jury convicted Dr. Berman in 2008 of 4th-degree criminal sexual conduct, landing him on probation for 5 years. His license was briefly suspended, but Dr. Berman is now back to work at one of his 3 Metro Detroit offices.
I just can't see how these professional men can be on a sex offender registry and be allowed to practice. I don't understand it.
As for Dr. Quinn, detectives arrested him after the 7 investigators revealed that he had not registered his new work address with police.
Have you told the state that this is where you're working? It's not on the sex offender registry.
Now Quinn is charged with 2 felonies, accused of working at least 8 months at this Southfield dental office without telling the cops.
Law enforcement was not notified of that change in employment until November 13th.
Quinn is facing up to 4 years in prison if he's convicted, possibly longer for being a habitual offender. Dr. Quinn's case for failing to register as a sex offender is moving forward in Oakland County Circuit Court. The new law takes effect July 1st.
Does this law go far enough, do you think?
Well, a lot of critics do not think it goes far enough. They're upset because a license would be automatically revoked only if the healthcare worker is convicted of assaulting a patient. It does nothing for healthcare workers who assault someone who is not in their care.
All right. Thank you, Heather, for the follow-up on that.
Yeah.